All right, peace and blessings, everybody. It's October the 10th, the year 2017. I wanted to read the rest of Schaeffer's letter here today. We focused on Aaron Bennett the previous video, but it's written on September the 30th. Took all the way till October the 10th to arrive in my mailbox. It says, "Dear Rudy, I got the book Blind Justice. It looks good. Sometimes books like that are hard for me to even read. The system is just so evil, but I'll get my courage up and plow through it." Then he goes into the Aaron Bennett stuff that I read in the previous video. I will not recover all of that. I go on to page 2. He asks, has Mike Anderson, excuse me, has Mike Anderson read Bill Fulton's book? I simply don't know. If any of you guys know how to reach Mike Anderson, you can ask Mike Anderson to write a letter to Schaeffer and let him know. I did ask... Ray Southwell writes these letters called In Support of Schaeffer Cox, and I post them on yearofjubilee.com. And I also mail them to Schaeffer, so Schaeffer's aware of everything that Ray Southwell is writing. So Schaeffer's I want to make sure Schaeffer's aware of all of this stuff, right? Because he's in prison, he has limited, view into everything that's going on out here. Schaeffer says to tell Ray that more important than there being no overt act is furtherance of any so-called conspiracy. There was no agreement to do anything. The audios proved this time and again. That's so true. We put together a collage of Gerald J.R. Olson provoking Schaeffer Cox about 241 over and over and over again. Just Schaeffer, what are you going to do if they come for your wife? Schaeffer, what are you going to do if they come for your kids? Schaeffer, what are you going to do if they come for you? Schaeffer, if they do this, are you going to do this? I mean, it's just Gerald J.R. Olson provokes him and provokes him. And not only that, but we know that Gerald J.R. Olson could turn on and off his recorder and he would seed the conversation. And so it's very unethical what they did to Schaeffer Cox with the use of informant Bill Fulton and Gerald J.R. Olson. Anyway, also, we have to ask ourselves, who is Schaeffer conspiring with? There's nobody left for Schaeffer to conspire with, and also there's no agreement. You have to have an agreement to go murder somebody if you're going to send somebody to prison for 27 years. There's no agreement to do anything. And not only that, but the situation would be under a certain condition if government was to break down, which will never happen. And then not only is it under conditions that will never happen, there's no identifiable target. Even the judge said, if I conspire to murder Mickey Mouse, does that mean I got to go to prison? So the conditions would never happen. A Stalin-esque like government breakdown. There's no identifiable target. There's no agreement, and there's no conspirator. Schaeffer cannot conspire with himself. He cannot conspire with an informant, and he can't conspire with somebody who wasn't convicted of conspiracy. So there's nobody left for Schaeffer to conspire with. Schaeffer goes on to write, "I would love it if Russia Today would do a film on my case. They definitely would do a good job since they aren't in it to suck up to the feds and globalists. Can y'all look into that a little? Ask David T., and David T. knows who he is, if he has any ideas to approach them." So I'll make sure I reach out to David T. Why doesn't Alex Jones do a piece on Schaeffer Cox? I mean, why doesn't anybody with a big microphone talk about Schaeffer Cox? I've reached out to many in the alternative media, and there's a handful that will. Sheila Zielinski, Pastor James David Manning, Wally Drake, Stefan Broden, John B. Wells, Joe Burliak, the Power Hour with, of course, God rest her soul, Joyce Riley is now gone on to be with the Lord. But, there was a few, but why doesn't Alex Jones? Yeah. Margaret's asked him like 1,000,000 times. Praise God for Margaret and her commitment, dedication. Schaeffer goes on to write, "Could someone out there order me a cheap used copy of the books Animal Farm and Brave New World? I need to reread those." Okay, I got that covered. It's already been ordered. So action item completed. Ray Southwell has not I asked Schaeffer if Ray Southwell had been sending him copies of what he's been writing, and I don't know if he has or not. Maybe there's some valid reasons. You know, I'm not questioning Ray Southwell, but I did want Schaeffer to see all of these wonderful writings that Ray Southwell was writing, and so I said, hey, is somebody else sending you these writings? Because maybe if they are, you know, I won't be sending them to you twice. So Schaeffer says Ray Southwell has not contacted me, but if he does, I'm happy to talk to him. So there you go. It says $100 showed up on my account from Shannon on 9/30/2017. So put out a big thank you for that. I don't know who Shannon is, but thank you, Shannon. I'm on the front lines, and every donation, big or small, is an airdrop of supplies to keep me going. Thank you. I know that even Pastor James David Manning sent Schaeffer some money, so we want to send out a big thank you to Pastor James David Manning, and he's been very supportive of Schaeffer. It's just every time we get on his show, the quality goes bad, and it's gotten to the point now where I don't think it's a coincidence. I used to think, well, it's just bad luck, but it's happened so many times. Like, there's something wrong here. I mean, my Skype works great every place else I make a Skype call. I call Pastor Manning to talk about Schaeffer Cox. The Skype quality goes terrible. The last thing that Schaeffer said is, I write Ursula Harrison back every time I get a letter from her. Does she get them? She's in Canada, so I don't know who Ursula is. Ursula, if you're reading this, I hope you can write Schaeffer and let him know, because he needs confirmation that your letters are getting through to him. And since they've killed our core links, I'm having a difficult time communicating with them, and they make it very difficult, for people in CMU, Communication Management Unit Prison. Schaeffer's case is so crazy, man. It's like hard to explain to anybody that's got, a regular life how bad they've treated this man. They put him in a special prison where they, he can't send out but a certain number of letters per week, and he can only make one phone call a week, and it's only for 15 minutes about pre-approved topics, and he's got a live monitoring person that listens, and they cut him off. I mean, he has informants that have ratted him out, and he has people writing books to profit off of his, life, and he's got Scrocky lying to try to become a federal judge, and it's just insanity what they have done to Schaeffer. But we serve a mighty living God, and justice will come to every one of these evil bastards. There's no doubt about it. Write to Schaeffer in prison. His address, all of the prisoners' addresses that we advocate for, are on the homepage, yearofjubilee.com. It's not on his specific page. It's on his homepage. The last line of peaceful defense between a tyrannical government and the defendant is jury nullification.